Alright, in this video I'm going to go through the exact audit I use for every client to find new workflows or things that are worth automating. I'll walk you through the 5 different sections of this, and then we'll take a real world example and build our first automation in N8N in minutes. And this will just be to show you how you can quickly whip up your first draft if you haven't done any of these before. And this is also what I do if there's a specific thing I've been asked to do but I don't already have a template for it. So if we have a little look here, you can see I've got 5 sections: map all tools, find knowledge sources, document processes, identify owners, measuring results, success metrics, etc. So mapping tools. Obviously when you're doing something like this, you want to get the tech stack, map it out. You know, what CRM are they using? Where's the data stored? Oh, sorry, that's the next one, but you get the idea. Email providers, CRMs, Google Sheets, whatever it is they're using. Then the second one, knowledge sources. So like I was saying, is information being stored in Google Sheets? And if so, what is it? Sales reports staying there? What do they have stored in the CRM? Do they have a lot of information, or do they just have bits and pieces and it's all dispersed across different applications? So once you have these 2 things, you'll know what you can connect to and what sources of information you can access. Then down here you'll have processes. So process name, tools used, probably doesn't need AI in there. Input output, so what's the raw input going into it and what's the desired output coming out. Frequency, volume, how often, how much time are you spending on this thing. And then identify owners. Now this is probably more for someone like me who's going and servicing these businesses, but if you are a business looking at this, this is basically saying who's in charge of what. Are the different people managing different departments, and do those departments have different budgets for things? So it may be relevant to you, may not be. Then measuring criteria. So of course, time spent on task, error rates in current processes, cost per transaction, employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction metric, target outcomes, reduction in manual processing, accuracy improvements, ROI. I think you guys get the picture. So once you've mapped all of these out, what you can actually do is take a specific workflow and all the applications associated with it. So where's the input coming in from? Where must the output end up? What has to do in between? And you can pretty much take the information for whatever workflow you want to create, and then you go to Claude or OpenAI, and then you say to it, can you write me a prompt instruction I can provide to N8N using N8N's text to workflow feature so that I can build this automation. And what that'll look like is you'll then come over to N8N, and they have a little workflow generator over here, or AI chat, and I got a little example one already written up here, and I'll just go create the following workflow, and you can see I got AI to write me out this little thing. 1, take the address. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. This is a new lead setup workflow idea for real estate agencies. So a new client wants to sell their home, they fill out a form, and then this workflow will take all that information from the form and then generate all the different bits and pieces it needs. So as you can see, it takes information, using the same property details, send them to an AI node that generates 3 social media posts, using the same property details plus the first generate a new listing alert, generate an open home flyer, open a Google Doc template for agency agreement, Slack message. So nothing too complicated, but I wouldn't want to make it too overly complicated for you guys just for this demo. Alright, now if you're new to N8N, I apologize if this looks a bit scarier than I intended, but it is still pretty basic workflow. So what's happening is you get a form submission from Typeform, creating a folder in Google Drive, and then each one of these flows is running. So you've got save listing to Google Doc, social media post, email, flyer, notification, agency agreement. So it's nothing too crazy, but you can see just how fast you can get these things up and running. These are little agent nodes, and you just go connect your AI model here. So you could have a separate AI model for each of these depending on the task. Additionally, you can always make these a bit more complicated, or go in as in depth as you want. Like here you got flyer generator, which this just generates text at the moment, but you could put things in here where it actually maybe takes a template of a particular flyer you like to use, and then after it generates the text, it creates the flyer and saves it to Google Drive. But you can see how fast this is to set up, and you'd still have to go through and check a few things and make sure it all fits together and connect your Typeform account or whatever you're using. Additionally, I've recently made a few videos on using Claude Code, so you could turn this into a skill that you'd use in Claude Code. So bring this up here, you could turn this into a skill, use something like a webhook, connect that there, and then maybe if you have this information or whatever other workflow you're doing, you can come here, take this URL and come to Claude in here and say, hey, I want to make a skill that calls this workflow. It does A, B, and C and gets whatever in return. And then you just have another webhook at the end here, which returns the information if you want something to happen other than just save it to a Google Drive, which that's the wrong one. But that's how you can quickly audit your business and set up these workflows and get something tangible that you can touch and feel and play around with. But have a little go. If you run out of monthly credits because of whatever your plan you're using down here, if you have Claude in the browser, you can actually use Claude as this here and say, all right, create me an N8N workflow, does A, B, and C, and output the JSON, so you can just copy it straight in here, but I won't get into that right now. But if you enjoyed this video, give us kudos and help us out, and I'll link that audit sheet on my resource hub, which is down below.